Mission Pro Wrestling, the symbol of excellence in women's sports entertainment.
I know. I guess I was gonna play your intro, but I don't want to overdo it. I don't want to overplay your intro. But we'll have appropriate times to get your music. But hello, everybody. Welcome to Mission Pro Spotlight. I am Myndrunner, and with me, flying in here, is Angel Marie. Angel, how you doing?
I am doing great.
Let's get our display names up there. And of course, at ITRW_Angel.Marie. Make sure it's ITRW. Make sure you get those initials there first so you can look her up. And of course, I am not Myndrunner. I am Myndrunner, even though Thunder Rose sees it differently. That's okay. Whatever you want to do, Thunder Army, I'm cool with that. What an awesome week of women's wrestling. So much going on. We're not going to be able to pack it all into one episode, but we do want to address something right now that at the last minute we have word. Unfortunately, Jada Snone's not going to be able to make it tonight. She has rescheduled for next week, but I have a feeling it has something to do with some of her upcoming challenges. I don't know if there's drama involved, but you never know. People are always gunning for her and Maya World as the Reality of Wrestling Tag Team Championships. I cannot confirm or deny that Fire and Fury have done something that they may or may not have stopped her ability to get on with us today. So I cannot confirm or deny these rumors, but Fire and Fury, they're coming for all titles, all tag titles everywhere. No one is safe. So we're going to be looking forward to that. But we've got so much to talk about in women's wrestling, and I'm just geeking out. I'm marking out like crazy. How about you, Angel? Are you anything just really what are you marking out the most about right now? What are you most excited about in women's wrestling?
Probably Bash at Berlin, because there's going to be the whole Judgment Day, Timu Judgment Day, Trashy Day, whatever you want to call them, up against the Terror Twins. Because I'm like, that match is going to be so good. That is, oh my gosh. I know they're going to cook. They're going to cook.
And I love how you call it what you call it, Trash Day?
Trashment Day.
We're going to call them
Trash Day. Hey, that works.
Well, there's so much we need to get into for the women's wrestling news, and I think we need to go ahead and jump right into it, and we'll let that be part of our top story. So, ladies and gentlemen, it's time for the World in Wrestling News. All right, so let's talk about Trashment Day and the Terror Twins, and what a great Raw. If you had a chance to check it out, but just more in general, how are you feeling about Liv Morgan as part of, we're calling them Trashment Day? Is that what we're calling them now? I mean,
sure.
In your opinion, do you feel like Liv has been an upgrade? And also, how do you feel about the Terror Twins?
I don't know whether Liv's an upgrade or not. Now, this is the problem. Whenever you love all women and women of wrestling. So I love Liv. Then I love Rhea. So I'm like, I don't know whether Liv's a downgrade or an upgrade or not. So I think I like the new era. Sure. Okay. I like the new Trashment Day. We could say that. No, but I love how she just casually.
They're drinking Mountain Dew and living in a broken trailer with a. I mean, I'm not judging that life. That's the lifestyle. But no, it's like it does feel like Judgment Day definitely doesn't have the dark, ominous, where it's from back when Edge, who is now, of course, Adam Copeland, but we can call him Edge because he was Edge at the time. When he started this whole thing, it was very goth and almost You know, it was almost a throwback to the Brood, and now it's kind of like the I don't want to be negative, but it's just kind of. I mean, I'm enjoying it. Please understand, I'm having fun with it. But it's like the Greaser's Garage or something, and then you've got the Terror Twins. Quite a formidable team there, the two of them. I have nothing but love for Liv Morgan and Rhea Ripley. I'm enjoying this. I hope you are too. And I never thought I would give props to Dominic, but Dominic plays such a sleazy heel. I mean, the boos in the building for Dominic rival Don Callis, Christian Cage. I mean, it's pretty remarkable. What are your thoughts on Dominic and this whole dynamic?
Yeah. No, you see, Dominic is a simple man. Someone gets him chicken nuggies, he goes with that person. I'm a simple woman. If somebody gets me chicken nuggies, I'm gonna want to marry them. So I know where he's coming from.
So you hear that, guys? If you want to win Angel Marie's heart, get on one knee, open the box, not a box of the diamond ring. Open a 6-piece with some sweet and sour sauce or
heck
some
yeah. Oh my gosh, now I'm hungry for chicken nuggets.
I just had this picture of Liv Morgan serving Dominic shaped chicken nuggies in the air fryer and Mountain Dew.
Oh my gosh. Dino nuggies are elite, honestly.
Dino nuggies are elite, or are hopefully not raw. I wouldn't eat them raw. Also,
no.
I also think one of the coolest highlights from Raw was also Damage Control versus Pink Pony Rainbow Fusion. I hate the name. I hate the name more because they're three of, in my opinion, three of the most badass female wrestlers in the company, and their names they're ordering from Tropical Smoothie. And you have Zoe Stark, you've got Shayna Baszler, and you've got the original Hair Up Square Up Sonya Deville. This should be a dominant team, and they got the big L last night. Now, granted, Zelina Vega got involved, and I like this potential feud. Zelina Vega from behind taking out Sonya Deville. But, and I can't take away from you, Sky and Carrie Sane. They did a tremendous spot. I highlighted on the screen here. But I feel like this is it's diminishing these, like Shayna Baszler, ever since she got called up to the main roster, has yet to truly be the Shayna Baszler from NXT from years ago. Do you agree?
Yeah, heck yeah, I agree. Like, honestly, I feel like, and like I've seen stuff online too, like Shayna is kind of taken as a joke. Whereas whenever she was in NXT, she was not a force to be reckoned with. So it's like, it's kind of sad that like she's not getting the same exact reception because of how they're booking her on the main roster. And I mean, kind of the same thing with Zoe too. And ever since they made the new Pink Pony Club faction, I'm wearing pink. So am I in the Pink Pony Club?
I don't know if you want to be. I don't know. I mean, I think it's we're gonna call them the Pink Pony Club, and they look tough, but they just, I don't know. I would really hope that they get some. I mean, who knows? I mean, Zelina Vega is going to obviously feud, maybe with Damage Control. They're going to do something there. So I don't know if that means Zelina Vega is going to join with them. Courtney in the chat is saying that they're jobber gatekeepers. That's interesting. That's an interesting take. I see what you're saying there, Courtney. And every show needs that. It's just like in a video game. You don't fight the final boss at the beginning of a video game. You have to progressively go through. You can't save the princess unless you know the cheat codes. You can't save the princess in the first level. You got to fight all the other Bowser minions before you get there. And so I can see the need for that, but it's unfortunate because I really felt like Shayna Baszler was going to really be a ruthless character. she should have been the WWE version of what Masha Slamovich is to TNA, because she should
Oh
just
yeah.
be going through people and not always necessarily winning. And I thought maybe that match with Lola Vice, where it was where it was like the MMA match, was going to
Hmm.
be that reboot for her. And I was pleasantly surprised Lola Vice winning, but I don't know. I don't know what's going on with Shayna Baszler and her booking,
Yeah, I don't know.
but I don't know. Maybe that's room for fantasy booking 101. But speaking of speaking of TNA, I do want to talk about Emergence this tomorrow. TNA Emergence. You've got Spitfire. You've got Jody Thread is also one of my favorite wrestlers. And again, rest in peace, Dodger. You were the goodest of boys. But Jody's a badass. I think it's interesting that Masha's kind of gone darker with her hair, because for a while she and Jody had the same color hair. So it was almost kind of hard to tell them apart.
Yeah.
Jordan Grace, fantastic. I mean, she is, to me, Jordan Grace is she's the number one. She's the ace in the women's division of TNA right now. She is, and it did nothing but help that solidify that when she did that NXT run.
Mm-hmm.
But I want to know your thoughts on this crew, but more so Ash by Elegance. When I first heard about Dana Brooks coming to TNA and going by Ash by Elegance, I thought, oh, they're just trying to rip off Toni Storm. But she's really shown that it's not a Toni Storm ripoff. She's kind of really made it her own character. Your thoughts on this matchup, and do you have a favorite?
Ooh, yeah. I mean, like you said, going off of that, Ash, freaking, I love her character work, and it definitely is not the same thing that Toni Storm is, for sure. She is her own character, and that is amazing. I love it. But if I had to pick a favorite for this match, it's probably gonna have to be Jordan. I love the Juggernaut, for real.
Yeah, she's awesome, And yeah,
Mm-hmm.
I still pop the biggest pop I had, other than of course with Joe Hendry. Wait, who did I just
Wait,
say?
wait, wait.
Say his name and he appears. I believe in Joe Hendry.
Oh, that's what happens when you say his name, right?
Oh my
I
God.
agree. What is it about Jordan Grace, the Juggernaut, that makes her your favorite?
Honestly, just because I don't know, like whenever so I don't really get to watch TNA too much because I don't have the channel on my TV for it. But whenever I do get to see clips and stuff, like Jordan just pops out to me. I'm just like, oh my god, she's a real badass for real. And I mean, we both got guns, so
You got to register them. Is it open
I
carry
still
in your
do. Sorry.
state?
I don't know.
Interesting
I
chatter
don't
here.
know.
I do want to kind of jump on the. Damon makes a very interesting point. They're purposely setting Shayna and Zoe up for failure because they're both not eye candy to most people's eyes. I don't know. I mean, Shayna's kind of cool. I mean, they both look badass, definitely in Sonya Deville. And then Achy Breaky Heart says, sorry if I'm mispronouncing your name there, G, but G Achy, the OG, says, so it's about eye candy, not competitiveness. What are your thoughts on that? I mean, it's interesting too, because this really addresses women's wrestling and how far we've come from the bra and panties matches, where I always put a little asterisk, because if women want to have a bra and panties match, if they want to have a cabaret style wrestling match where they're celebrating their bodies, I mean, they spend all the time in the gym, they want to celebrate their bodies, go for it, as long as it's their choice and it's a mutual choice, not being forced on them. But I think there's some truth. There might be some truth to, like, what are your thoughts on the battle between eye candy versus and is it more about packaging? Because I feel like you could be, I almost feel like it's not so much about a stereotypical female wrestler that has to look like a certain way. I feel like it's more about the packaging. Like if because you could package Shayna Baszler as this badass, Zoe Stark is this badass, Shayna Baszler is you could as Sonya Deville is a badass, and people are going to pop for them. What are your thoughts on that? And is this WWE kind of slipping back into their old ways?
Yeah, no, like you said, it really is about package. 'Cause, like, you look at, like, Rhea Ripley, like, she is huge, and she is not what you would call technically eye candy. In a lot of people's eyes, like, they think goth, oh, that's, okay, ew. You know what I mean? So,
Yeah.
and it's like, and she's super over. It's just the way that they're, like, really booking her. It's really, I don't think it's about eye candy, because you can see, like, all of these different, like, super strong women, like how we were saying with Jordan too, and like she's super over it. It's just the way that they're booking, and it sucks. Honestly, sometimes booking sucks.
Yeah, and that's the balance. Of course, we see it from a fan standpoint. I mean, there's wrestlers and talent that can back us up on this point, but in the people we've talked to, one of the constants I've seen is there is the booking, of course, that does matter, because you want to book people a certain way, and it's tough when you've got a bunch of talent and you got to move people around, but also there's got to be something there, and I feel like that there's, and sometimes, like, and I think we're going to start seeing that with people like going to other companies. I mean, like Cody was really getting booed at AEW right before he went to WWE. And when he went to WWE, he made it. I mean, that was such a great move for him. Ricochet coming to AEW is tremendous. I mean, Mercedes Moné in AEW is, and we'll talk about that in a little bit. But I think that I think a lot of it is the booking, but also if there's got to be some talent there too. And I feel like I agree with you. I don't think it's about I think it's the booking. You can book anybody you want, but it's unfortunate. And I hope you're wrong, Damon, but I have this. I hope you're wrong, just from the standpoint I don't want to see WWE slipping back into that Divas era mentality again. And
Definitely.
I hope that's not the case, but we'll see. Who knows? We'll just enjoy wrestling. That's what we'll have to do. Maybe one of those ladies gets a reboot, going over to another company. Imagine Shayna Baszler showing up to challenge Jordan Grace. Or,
oh hell yeah, that'd be awesome.
Can you imagine that? Or all of a sudden, Mercedes Moné or Mariah May. That would be interesting.
That would be cool.
I think that would be. We might be able to work. Tell us what you would think. Tell us in the chat, what would you do, Shayna? How would you repackage? I mean, for one, change the name from Pink Pony Club to something a little more fierce. But if you were going to move either Zoe Stark, Sonya Deville, or Shayna Baszler to another company, how would you do? Which company would you move them? Would you move them all together and make it kind of like an invasion thing? Or how would you book it? And who would you book them to show up against? We'd love to know. I mean, Shayna Baszler versus Jamie Hayter. That would be cool.
That's a good one. That's a good one.
That would be cool. But there's plenty of awesomeness going on in what is supposed to be the call-up show, but it's really making its own mark. NXT. We've got some cool news from NXT. First of all, NXT's Tatum Paxley, I think is her name. Have you heard of this person?
Is it like Tatum?
Tatum? I think so.
Tatum Paxley?
Yeah,
Tatum Paxley. Maybe it's Tatum Paxley. Yeah, I know Gigi Ray. I've seen Gigi Ray live before, but I don't know. I still don't know who this Tatum Paxley is.
Just for new listeners, this is an inside joke that, I mean, if you notice, Angel's hairstyle is very similar to Tatum Paxley's, and sometimes she does this. But yes, Tatum Paxley versus Gigi Ray was at the Reality of Wrestling Breakout. Reality of Wrestling, that's Can you dig it, sucker? That's
Yeah.
his thing, and a lot of cool things going on there. Our guest that was supposed to join us tonight, again, we're waiting to hear word whether or not Fire and Fury were involved, but she won't be joining us tonight. She'll be here next week, so we'll be excited for that. But again, it's great to see NXT talent getting out. That the talent in general at WWE aren't just isolated in NXT or WWE. They're able to go and do these other things, and especially someone we love at Mission Pro, Gigi Ray. Such a cool opportunity, I think.
Definitely. You know what I would love to see? Mission Pro comes back, okay? Stage is set. Black Swan versus Tatum Paxley.
Oh,
imagine how cool that would be!
Thunder, Brian, did y'all hear that? Let's book that. Oh, can you imagine?
Please take notes.
Swan versus Paxley. Yes. Inject that in my
I will be seated.
Well, again, I can't, I only hear, you and I both just hear drops here and there, nuggets, because, they're being very close to the chest for the future of Mission Pro. But it is very awesome that next year's AW All In is going to be in Texas, because that's going to be kind of like WrestleMania weekend, where there's a lot of shows around the big event that'll be going on. So you never know who might show up from a certain major company. Might show up at a Mission Pro show the night before All In. And that's all I'm going to say about that. You never know. You never ever know who's showing up, who's flying into Texas. It's a big state. I'll give you that. San Antonio, Dallas, it's a little bit of a drive, but but you never know who's going to be showing up. So that's all I'm going to say about that. It's going to be pretty cool.
Yeah, y'all don't know. Like, what if I decide to just casually jump in the ring?
Well,
again,
weren't you robbed of your title shot against Izzy, and Thunder took it from you?
Yes, Thunder stole my title shot. I'm like, Thunder, I love you, but you stole my title shot. Ooh. I was supposed to fight Izzy for the Mission Pro Women's Championship. I mean, I would have just laid there and let her pin me and retain her title 1, 2, 3 in like 5 seconds. But
it's okay, BFF.
That's beside the point. It's beside the point. That was supposed to be my title match.
That's awesome. Well, you'll get your rematch. You'll get your opportunity, but it sounds like you're getting a little bit of real heat with Thunder. I don't know what's going on.
Oh,
we'll see.
I love you, Thunder, but we got beef now.
Ooh, beef tacos, perhaps. We'll see. Speaking of surprise, like big pops, another crossover from TNA. First of all, Wendy Choo. She's chewing up a lot of screen time. This nightmare character, because I honestly didn't think the lazy bedtime character was cute, but I don't know if she was trying to go for an Orange Cassidy, kind of vibe. But the nightmare Wendy Choo, I look under my bed for her, because I want to make sure she's not going to come out and do some craziness. But what a great pairing of Wendy and Rosemary. And when the pop, when Rosemary's music and her name appeared on the Titantron, tremendous pop. Kehlani Jordan is really and she sold it too. Props to Kehlani Jordan for her reaction of like it's almost like Abaddon level reaction where you're like, oh no. Your thoughts on Rosemary showing up and this whole storyline with Wendy Choo.
Oh yeah, I did not expect, of all people, Rosemary to show up. I was just like, I wonder who she's gonna get. I was like, I don't know. What if she somehow makes an alliance with someone? But then there's not really too many other people in NXT that I could see going with Wendy. that she hasn't already turned on Tatum. Sorry, I had to clear my throat there for a second.
Yeah, we're not salty about that or anything, but
Definitely not. I'm totally not salty. Totally. I don't know why you'd ever think that. Anyways, beside the point. Um, no, but like, of all people, Rosemary, like, that's so dope. Like, Rosemary is so cool. And then, what you were saying with Wendy's gimmick, I freaking loved her sleepy time gimmick. But you know what? I love her nightmare gimmick like 10 times more, honestly. I mean, you can tell. I love creepy gimmicks. I like weird gimmicks. So, of course, I'm going to love Nightmare Wendy Choo. I mean, if she's underneath my bed, she's underneath my bed. I don't really see a reason why she would need to attack me. I mean, other than the fact that I love Tatum, but like that, I mean, I don't know. If I would like someone who's your enemy, would you attack me for that?
I don't know.
Like,
Only if
I mean,
she sees you as a threat, perhaps.
yeah, only if you have like just cause. But like, if I'm just there, I'm not bothering you. Like, there's no reason, right?
No, I think you're going to be safe. But we do want to address the soon to be arriving at NXT, Julia, the from Japan. This to me is going to be such a huge draw for NXT and WWE. She's already over. So when she does show up, a lot of people thinking she's going to be showing up here in the next couple weeks. It might be this week. You never know if she might be showing up. It's going to be interesting to see how this breaks down. Do you put her in a feud right away with like Roxanne Perez, or do you put her in? How do you introduce Julia into NXT? Who do you have her feud with? Do you have her do a workhorse bunch of matches before she gets a title shot, or do you just put her in the title picture right away?
Honestly, I would say start working up to that title shot. And okay, here's the thing: is that I was kind of wrong with this. So you remember when Jade Cargill was like going to WWE and stuff, and so I thought, oh, okay, they're gonna probably have her like dominate NXT for a few months, then go to the main roster. They shot her straight to the main roster, which I mean, not a bad thing, but I was just a little surprised by that. So I'm like, now I don't know like how like girls that are from like other companies should come into WWE at this point. Because with Julia, super big star, quite literally stardom.
Yes.
And so quite literally. Anyways, so I don't really know. I wouldn't say throw her in a title shot in a hurry. I mean, that'd be really cool. Don't get me wrong. But probably wait like a few weeks, few months, and then put her in the title shot. Show everyone in the NXT, who watches NXT. Show all the viewers why Julia is a powerhouse and why she deserves to get a title shot first.
I think you actually that's a great plan, and I'm glad you brought up Jade Cargill because she was great in AEW, but I feel like they kind of got to a point where they didn't really know what to do with her. They didn't want to kill her streak. Statlander was originally supposed to, and then she got her second leg injured. But I think Jade was one that you plug right into the main roster because otherwise she'd be doing exactly what she was doing in AEW, just in a different company. And I love the pairing with Bianca Belair, and I love her also Trinity. I'm sorry, Naomi. I still call her Trinity. But
me too.
I love that trio, and I really feel like that, and I don't know if y'all saw when they had that tribute to Simone Biles, each of them wore a different version of her Olympic outfits. I thought that was really cool. So I think in Jade's case, that's when you plug right in because she's got a lot of buzz. A lot of people know who she is. Where Julia, to use Tony Khan's term, us sickos, us rabid fans, we know who Julia is. but you're now
Mhm.
introducing her to the WWE fan base as a whole. There's probably a lot of fans that may not know who she is. So
Yeah.
bringing her to NXT and giving her some reps there, getting her some feuds there first, I think that's a smart play. So I think that's a good idea. Get her some feuds going. You know, have her knock some people down, and then maybe who knows, maybe have her feud with somebody. I don't know. I don't know if you. I mean, I'd love to see Roxanne Perez. Of course, I'd love to see Roxanne Perez come back to Mission Pro for a
Oh yeah.
couple events, but I mean that's a whole other thing. But I do want have her. Ooh, here we go. I like this. Have her feud with JC Jane and her faction first, since they hate rookies. Oh,
Oh, that's smart.
That's a good. You know what? I think that's tremendous. I think that's a great. And
I didn't even think of that.
Who was JC Jane? She got a victory recently, I think. But I think that's a smart move. I like that booking, Damon. Excellent. Like, thousand cool points for you. But we do got to move along, because we got to go elite, and we got to talk about the ramifications. There was a tiny little show in Wembley, in London over the weekend. In case some of you missed it, there was this tiny little show called All In. And in the women's division, we had a lot of cool stuff. We're going to talk about the match that was on the buy-in a little bit later, but I do want to talk about the return of Jamie Hayter. By the way, shout out to Ashley Nicole on Twitter. She caught this picture. She was there and caught this picture, this perfect picture of Jamie Hayter with the fire behind her. I mean, to me, that's just tremendous. And I love that picture. Jamie Hayter returns. Interesting, not involved with Britt Baker at all. In fact, it was instead to continue a feud with Saraya, which is interesting because it was really technically Toni Storm that injured her to put her out, but she blames the Outcast, and Saraya is kind of the only original Outcast member. It's now Harley Cameron and I guess Anna Jay still. But we had the return of Jamie Hayter. We also had the new women's champion, Mariah May. They've kind of completed that story with Toni Storm. And then we had the former Sasha Banks, now Mercedes Moné, retained against Britt Baker. Your thoughts just overall, and just first of all, your thoughts on Jamie Hayter, your thoughts on Mercedes Moné with AEW, and your thoughts on Toni Storm and Mariah May. Pick any of them to talk about. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, no, starting with Jamie, I freaking called it. I was like, I really want Jamie Hayter to come back at this next pay-per-view. And she did.
Yes, she did.
And I love that picture. It's so perfect. But yeah, no, I can't wait to see her continue to shoot with Saraya, and then honestly match with Anna Jay, because I love Anna Jay. Mm-hmm. Me and my sis, we love Anna Jay over here. But I think she just had her last match in Japan, because she was having some matches in Japan, so she's probably gonna be back in a few weeks, I'd assume. But yeah, I can't wait to see that. And then with Toni and Mariah, oh my gosh, match was crazy. Storyline was crazy too. And I freaking loved it. And then with Mercedes, I loved the match too. Oh my god, I'm blanking. What's the name of the person she went up against? Oh my god.
Britt. Yeah.
Britt. Oh my god, how am I forgetting Britt?
Honestly, yeah. That's a name that we might forget frequently around here sometimes. But yeah, I
don't know how.
Now there was some controversy with that match, because there were some people saying that the match was kind of junky. I think a lot of it had to do with the placement, the time of the match.
Oh,
because
definitely.
By that time it was like there was only 2 more matches after that before the end of the show. You had they still had the coffin match to go, and then they had Swerve versus Danielson. So by that time, so many people were tired. So I can understand that. Also, these are 2 wrestlers that Britt has been, she came back and then she got suspended and now she's back. She really didn't have a whole lot of ring time to get into get back into the swing of things. Some people use the S word, sandbag. I don't know about that, but I'm excited to see who Mercedes' next feud is with, and she owned it too. Mercedes owned it. She said she understood there were some mixed feelings about the match, but she said she learned some things and that for next time that she's going to do better. Let's get from Brent Ross what Brent thinks about. What are your thoughts on Britt Baker, Brent Ross? Okay. All right. Okay. That's a hot take. All right.
Okay. Straight to the point.
Britt's divisive. I will say that. Britt Baker's. I've always said that I can be a Britt Baker and Thunder Rosa fan. I don't know if I could still say that anymore, but I do think that I'm looking forward to Mercedes' next opponent, and I think it would be awesome if that next opponent is Thunder Rosa.
Hell yes! Oh my gosh! Hell yes!
I think that would be tremendous. We can move on from this because I think that's how you book it. I mean, really, if you think about it, it's Jamie Hayter needs to go. I think they need to build up Jamie Hayter versus Mariah May if Tony's not going to continue the storyline. Thunder, then that means Thunder's got to go against Mercedes, and I think that's the way to go. That's tremendous. Book it, Tony. You know what to do. But things last night's Dynamite had some interesting moments, and of course we're going to be talking about that. Me and the Dynamite Club Gold are talking about that on Dynamite Download in about an hour. But gotta talk about. I want to talk first of all one of the funny segments. And if you didn't catch it, Mercedes Moné was having a private party for her championship, and who showed up but Private Party. And it was interesting because at the media scrum, there was a reporter that was asked kind of in fact, there were several very awkward questions. There was another reporter that called Taz's FTW belt a joke belt. Both Tony and and Hook almost jumped out of their chairs at this guy. And he was like, I'm sorry. But there's another guy that asked about Mercedes Moné's recent divorce and how she's not single.
Saw that.
I mean, you saw her reaction?
I was like, I think that's like a no question. Yeah, I'm like, are you mentally okay? Like, why would you ask that? Like, that's a really weird question in any setting, but especially in a setting to where it's wrestling. You would assume people would be asking wrestling related questions. No, how do you feel about your divorce and being sick? What? Didn't he say something like, can I get with you or something like that too?
No, she kind of put him on the spot, and he said he's married, but then she's like, what are you trying to, she called him out, what are you trying to make a play here? And she took him down. I mean, to her credit, she took him down, but and that's always frustrating. You know, that one of my biggest pet peeves, I think, is when fans embarrass other fans like us, like, my grandfather would always say, the emptiest cans make the most noise. You know, what that means is like, it's the real stupid people that make that you hear about. And it's like those people that show up at airports with like 20 figures to sign, and they're not really looking, they're not like the little kid that wants to have this life-changing moment. They're just there to make they're go in their basement and sell them on eBay. And it's like, that's the stuff that drives me nuts. And it's like those kind of inappropriate questions, but they did kind of do a play on that with this segment last night where Isaiah Cassidy goes, Mercedes, I know you're looking fly, and I heard you're single now, so what's up? And she shut him down. But what was really cool is Okada came up and backed her up, and so she asked him, "How do you say bye bitches in Japanese?" And she said, "Sayonara bitches." And Okada and like they've already kind of teased that Mercedes as the CEO is kind of part of the EVP. She's not an EVP, but the Bucks have kind of embraced her as part of that group. And seeing her with Okada, what are your thoughts? What are you taking from this pairing of Okada and Mercedes Moné?
Yeah, I'm kind of digging the pairing, and honestly, the only the only thing that I can think when I see Okada is that one meme, and it's like of him, and he's like I think he was like a backstage production. He was like, "Oh no, I pressed the wrong button. I'm so sorry, bitch."
He has the best expressions, and I've said this a while. Is
Yeah.
he has this dry humor. Back before he came to AEW, whenever the Bucks, like he and the Bucks would run, whenever he was near the Bucks, he'd always steal either Nick or Matt's gear and put it on and just start walking around with their gear. It's that, and he's got this look on his face. I think Okada's tremendous. He's one of those. He's playing a heel, but he's great. It's gonna be interesting to see where he's going. But I kind of like this pairing with Mercedes. Mercedes needs an entourage, and I feel like they've got the muscle now with Camille Brickhouse, and I think Okada's good. I like that she's starting to kind of build that group. I'd love to see the Renegade Twins with her.
Ooh, that'd be cool.
I think they would fit with her as a good, with her and Camille. That would be a great group. And she needs to kind of start to surround herself with some folks. And that would actually be an interesting angle if, like, Mercedes has got Camille, and then Thunder is going to feud with Mercedes, and Thunder brings in the Renegade Twins thinking they're going to side with her. And then the Renegades turn on Thunder. So then Thunder's got to call in her twisted sister to help. So I don't know. This is
my god, the drama.
Overbooking, but we got to get the Twisted Sisters back together at some point. I'd love for them to do an AEW. Yeah. But Holodead showing up with Thunder would be great. Yes, let's talk about the another odd pairing, if you will, but this is one that I have been ranting about for almost 2 years now. Ever since Marina Shafir came to AEW, I felt like her, and you could argue booking, you could argue her, you could argue I don't know the details, but I felt like there was such a missed opportunity not putting her with the Blackpool Combat Club. I feel like she's another one of those where less is more, where she actually is somebody that kind of like Camille Brickhouse doesn't need to be on the mic. I don't know if you remember that very awkward promo she did with the Blossom hat.
I definitely do.
I mean, we know her, but we don't know her. What do you think of this? You think that the Blackpool Combat Club and with Moxley, do you think that's a good home for her?
Honestly, I didn't even realize it was Camille at first. But I like seeing this new side. Like, I mean, I could totally see a girl in the BCC. Like, that's so cool. Like, a bunch of these badass dudes, and then you get this one badass chick, and I'm like, heck yeah. Like, that's cool. I am all here for it, honestly. Just maybe keep her off them, like, respectfully. Or just, maybe she's gotten better. We don't know.
I think keep her away from the mic, because there's the thing is there are wrestlers that are great on the mic and you want to give them that time, and then there's wrestlers like that when they paired her with Nyla and Vicky Guerrero, I thought, okay, that's a smart move, but then they let her talk, and I was like, no, let Nyla do the talking, let Nyla grab the mic and be Nyla. And then keep her, but I don't know. I just don't think that works. I will say this though, that in light of the old sandbagging issue, remember that it was her and Thunder that they they ignored all the hate in the locker, from a certain person in the locker room. They ignored the social media controversy, and they broke bread together. And they really, they actually cashed it out, and they made amends. So I have no hate for Marina Shafir. The fact that she and Thunder were able to find that common ground and work that out, that's what you're supposed to do. And I think this is going to be an upgrade for her. I think it injects some new life into the BCC, and it's interesting to see where Moxley's going. I know my buddy Brent Ross has a fear, because I just casually mentioned it to him, that when Moxley told Shivani that this isn't his company anymore, that plus the rumors of a certain son of a man named Vince, a certain Shane, possibly coming to AEW. That might have a net negative effect on AEW, but I don't know. That's that's a whole other conversation. But Angel Marie, we're getting we're going to probably get probably one of the most brutal matches at All Out has been declared, because winning at All In allows Willow Nightingale to call her shot of the stipulation against Chris Statlander. It is a Chicago street fight. Neither person is a stranger to hardcore style death matches. Both Willow, when she came out with Ruby Soho, with honor to the Dudleys, Statlander's no stranger to it either. Anticipation for this match. What do you on a scale of 1 to 10? What's your anticipation for this match?
Let's see. 100.
There you go. Nice. What kind of plunder and carnage do you think we're going to see? And will Stokely get hit, or will he be used as a weapon by Statlander?
I was about to say, he's probably going to get used by a weapon as a weapon in the match. Honestly, just imagine just casually bodying Stokely. He's so funny.
Can you see Statlander picking Stokely up and using him as a weapon? I see that Courtney in the chat. I agree with you here. The only thing I'll say though, Courtney, is this is kind of a blow off, because this is kind of that match that, and I agree that after this match they need to go their separate ways. Willow needs to go somewhere else. Statlander, there needs to be a new feud for both of them. But these kind of street fight, these kind of like climactic matches, they're supposed to be that blow-off match. Now, granted, Thunder and Deonna Purrazzo had 3 blow-off matches, but I mean, to be honest, they could do a best of 7, and I'm here for it. But I thought that I think this is going to be awesome. I think there'll be bloodshed. I think there's going to be some very interesting moments, possibly some surprises we'll see. But overall, really cool stuff. Bring hardcore back, ladies. Gotta ask you a question, Angel. Do you think we're ready for a women's blood and guts match?
Oh my gosh, yes! I've heard people talking about this online too, and I'm like, okay, wait, let them cook. Because I mean, like, we have the men's and women's war games. Why can't we have a men's and women's blood and guts? Like, that'd be so dope. I love the thought of it. And by the way, for that match at All In or All Out, right?
All Out, yeah, All In and then All
Out.
Yeah.
Okay, that's what I thought. I was like, let me
In and out.
Oh my gosh. But so for the match at All Out, I am going. Call my shot right here, right now. I'm gonna bet there's gonna be thumbtacks.
Yeah, I think you're right. But there'll definitely be some thumbtacks. I think there might even be some. One of my favorite things was Legos that they used. That was pretty cool.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, I think there'll be some thumbtacks. But before we wrap up, we've got to go to our banger of the week, ladies and gentlemen.
Kulo's Mission Pro fans, I call it. It's the banger of the week.
Our banger of the week, I mean, and there were a lot of cool moments, but our banger of the week has got to be this Toni Storm, Mariah May all-in battle. That was just incredible. Angel, you got to see it. Your thoughts on this match with Toni Storm and Mariah May?
Yeah, no, there was so many moments in this match that, oh my gosh, like, it was insanity. And then, who was it? Didn't Mariah May, like, slap her mom or something?
She slapped her own mother. And then,
yeah, that's insane.
Toni goes over and, are you all right, dear? Are you okay? Yes, it was Toni that made sure. Yeah, exactly. This was incredible. We saw the return of Luther, of course. The return of Luther. And very interesting. But do you feel like they've set up? First of all, do you feel like Mariah May was justified in winning at Wembley?
Honestly, yeah. I mean, a little bit, yeah. I mean, even like if it wasn't at Wembley, I honestly would have still like chosen Mariah to win. Honestly, I love Toni, but I gotta go with Mariah for this.
Yeah, it was awesome, and of course we did up in the stands. Mina Shirakawa sitting next to Rachel Ellering of all people.
Yeah,
on hand to see. And what about and then of course the finish? She could have used the shoe, but she couldn't. She couldn't use the shoe because she couldn't bring herself to do it. And of course, Mariah May victorious.
Yeah, and it's like I get it. I get it. Like you wanna be nice. You can't bring yourself to hurt who you once loved. But you should have just hit it with the shoe. You should have just hit it with the shoe. And then you could have won the match, but no, you decided, I can't do this to you. I'm so sorry. And then you lost. So, Toni, maybe next time fight that inner voice telling you to not do it. Fight that voice, so then you can win the title.
One question before we wrap up: Is it over, or is Mariah May next? Do you want Mariah May to go defend against somebody new feud? Or do you still want more Toni Storm with Mariah May?
Honestly, I would take Toni Storm and Mariah May all day, but obviously, if you would have to come to an end somewhere, I mean, I know we're talking about like Thunder and Gianna having so many matches, but I mean, eventually they come to an end, right? Somehow, some way. But I would actually like to see a rematch of Toni versus Mariah. I feel like that'd be awesome. And then probably I think Mariah would somehow find a way to cheat and win. Honestly. It would say dream booking match at All Out. It's Mariah and Toni rematch. I say Mariah's probably gonna find a way. Toni would almost have the match won clean, but then Mariah somehow gotta find a sneaky little way to cheat and retain.
Would Mina get involved?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, Mina would.
Absolutely. Well, thank you everybody for tuning in. Again, apologies that Jada was not able to join us tonight. We will be here next week. We'll probably get some answers to what happened. Was Fire and Fury involved? We'll have that update next week. I cannot confirm or deny. But on behalf of Angel Marie, this is Myndrunner. Thanks for tuning in. And if you get a chance, go out to YouTube, jump over to Dynamite Download, because me and the Dynamite Club Gold team will be recapping last night's Dynamite. You don't want to miss it. Anyways, for Angel Marie, I am Myndrunner, and we'll see you next time.